Hello, this video is a short hip opening sequence. It's not meant to be a strengthening sequence, which I do recommend you do following a hip opening sequence. The reason is if you do some strengthening after you increase your mobility, the chances of keeping that mobility are much higher. So keep that in mind, everybody. But this one is just meant to be a gentle hip opener, a short sequence for all of us at home right now. Okay, so I have a yoga strap. If you have a yoga strap at home, great. If not, you can use a belt or a towel. I'm also sitting on a bolster. You can use a bolster if you have these at home. If not, pillows work great, just some kind of padding. And if you have yoga blocks, please grab them. You'll need all of those for this sequence. So place the bolster at the top of your mat. Keep the blocks handy, keep the belt handy as well. We'll begin on our backs. So you'll lie down. Place the strap over your right foot and lift your right foot in the air. Does your leg have to be straight? No, it does not have to be straight. You can see I have tight hamstrings. Who cares? It's about, do you feel the stretch back here? In fact, I find if you're stiffer, you feel the stretch right away. And yay, we celebrate that, okay? So as we're holding this, focus on your breath and really keep it consistent. Inhale and exhale. If you're noticing that you're holding your breath, just recognize that you're holding it and go, oh, I should breathe here. Yes, you should. The other thing is if you find that you're holding your shoulders up by your ears, relax your shoulders down and think of even reaching your elbows towards your hips, just like they're going to try to touch and be friends. But they never will, or if they do, hey, that's cool, party trick, right? Now take your right leg out to the side. Notice I'm holding it up in the air. If you have a yoga block at home, you can place the yoga block on the outer part of your right hip. That will serve to catch your leg a little bit. So you can pull up and really get an inner thigh stretch on the right side. Straighten your left leg out if you want a deeper stretch. You do not have to do that step. That's for those of you at home who have a little more flexibility. If this causes pain or discomfort, you'll come back to this position here. I'm so stiff I feel it in both, but you know, everyone's different. Okay, lift your right leg up, cross your right leg over your left, pull your left knee into your chest. Now there's a lot of debate on should you flex your right foot up to protect your knee in a stretch like this. With the kinesiology and body knowledge I know, not really, but I actually like how it keeps your leg active and engaged. And for that reason I say do it, because it really, instead of just kind of haphazardly being in this pose, it keeps you very active in the pose. And with that, instead of pushing this knee out, I want you to try to push your right knee away from you, actively from your hip muscles. And you should feel this working in your outer hips quite a bit. So again, we're not being lazy in this pose, we're breathing into it and we're working. Great, uncross your legs. Place the strap over your left foot, take your left leg up. Again, that leg does not have to be straight. If anything, you might notice, wow, one side was tighter than the other. And that's okay. Just take inventory and observe and see as you do these sequences how things change for you. If you want a deeper stretch, you can straighten that other leg out. I know for me, I've been sitting a lot lately, and goes against what I normally do. I'm normally on my feet working a lot, and these times are different, right? We're all confined to our homes and told to stay in, and for me, I can't come to work because it poses a health threat at the moment, so, as for many of you. Okay, let's take the block on the outer part of your left hip, take your leg out to the left, and pull it up. Again, option to have your opposite knee bent. Whatever brings joy to your body and your joints and your muscles. If it feels good, great. If you're like pulling on your leg and you're like, I'm gonna tough it out, please don't do this. I want everyone to get in the habit of, if you feel pain, you're going to acknowledge it and not move past it. So we as healthcare professionals have to take an oath of do no harm, and I'd ask that you do that to yourself as well. One more deep breath here, take an inhalation. Exhale, release. Cross your leg over the other. So left leg goes over the right. You can flex your left foot up. Rotate your left knee away from you by using the muscles in your left hip. Then pull your right knee in towards your chest, but keep that activation on the left side. If you can, while you're breathing here, put a little tone into your belly and see how that situates your body on the floor. If you notice a big dramatic change from the right to the left, don't judge it, just go where you have the motion. Gently encourage your leg to open up more using the muscles in your hip. And take one more inhale here. And exhale. Okay, great. Come onto your hands and your knees. Press back into downward facing dog. So, do we need a perfect down dog here? No. But I do want everybody to think about pointing their index fingers forward, not their middle fingers. And you can even spin your hands out a little bit more. You'll drop your heels towards the ground. Some of you might not be able to touch the ground. That's okay. Don't judge it. Just go, all right, that's where I'm at today. What I do want is a flatter back. So if you are rounding here because your hamstrings are so stiff and you're like, put a big bend in your knees. You see how that straightens my back out? It's going to straighten your back out too. And maybe this is what your down dog looks like today, and that's okay. For those of you who have more mobility, begin to straighten your legs out, but don't compromise your back. So if you straighten out and you start rounding your back a lot, that's a bad down dog right there. You want to straighten out this way, put a little bend in your knees, that's okay. And breathe into the space a little bit more. Great, come down onto your knees. Grab either a bolster or a block. I'm going to show you both. So the bolster, you're going to step your right leg over it and then take it so your shin is about parallel to the bolster. If that hurts, you can pull your heel in more and point your right knee forward. The bolster is there to even out your pelvis. So what I want you to do is pick up your back leg, come up on your back toes, rest the front of your left leg down, then relax your left leg. You can prop yourself up here and get a nice little hip flexor stretch on the left. If this feels too cumbersome, you'll use your yoga blocks to help press you up here. If I'm up here, I'm in a bigger back bend, and that's gonna stretch my hip flexors a little bit more. Which hip flexors? Well, there's a lot, so I'm not gonna make this an anatomy lesson right now. But where you should feel this is psoas and iliacus, primarily. Okay, you can come up higher, great. One more breath here. And then exhale, we're gonna fold forward. So folding forward can look like a lot of different things. It can look like this. For some of you, this is gonna be like, wow, that is a lot of a stretch here. Can't handle anything more. Okay, great, stay there. Or back off a little bit, come up on your fingertips. For those of you who wanna go deeper, you'll try to go down onto your elbows. And maybe for some of you, this is enough. If you're in between, you'll take your yoga blocks and create that intermediate step. And maybe you're here. Breathing deeply, evenly, calmly. And for those of you who are blessed with flexibility, maybe you can come all the way. For me, that doesn't feel good. So I'm going to stay in this intermediate step. Because it's about recognizing where you are in that moment today. Nothing else matters. And if you're like, wow, I saw this girl on Instagram and she could like wrap her leg around her neck and float in the air all in front of waterfalls, and like, I want to do that. That looks amazing. First of all, like, it's probably Photoshopped. Second of all, that is not yoga for most of us. I would consider that more contortion work. And let go of that. It might look beautiful, we'll appreciate the art form and the beauty of it, but that's not where most of us are meant to go. We'll see how those hips fare out for that individual later on in life. Okay, we come up. What does this look like if you don't have the bolster? You use the blocks, or you use a bunch of pillows and you rest that under your hip here, or all the way up here. There's different ways. It's that you want this on your sitting bone with the block versus the bolster. I like the bolster because it really just holds you. All right, now let's move the bolster. Place the left knee on the bolster and your right leg comes forward. Place the blocks on either side of your right foot. Lift your torso, tuck your pelvis, lift your arms. So we call this Anjaneyasana. This is a great hip flexor stretch. And then press with your right leg to come out. Everybody see that? We're here, I just push this way to come out of it versus fighting with my pelvis. You've got a lot of strength in that front leg, so we use it. If you can, grab your strap or your towel, whatever you have at home, place it under your left foot. Maybe it goes up to the ankle. Then take the strap over your left shoulder. And for some of you, that might be a lot of a stretch. And where you're gonna feel that is in the front of your thigh on the left side, because now we're stretching rectus femoris. So pull on the strap as far as you can, as long as, again, things feel good and happy and harmonious. We're not looking for fighting through and pushing through any pain. That doesn't serve you. If you feel this in your kneecap, back off. And then search for the stretch by lunging a little bit more versus pulling the heel in towards your butt more. I always feel like I'm carrying a big heavy bag this way. Ready, release. We're gonna do everything on the other side. So on the other side, I'm going to demonstrate using the blocks instead of the bolster. For those of you who only have blocks. So this time, I'm going to place the block up on the medium height. You can go all the way to the top height. That's medium, that's low. I like to go medium. That's where my body is. You may be in any of those other positions. You may not even need the block. Most of us, if we're sitting and we're not as active as we used to be, we're gonna stiffen down a little bit. Okay, so here, what if you only have one other block? Well, you put that other block in front of you and you use your fingertips to press from to get that hip flexor stretch on the right side. If you don't need it, you can reach your arms back. You can even go up with your arms here. For some of you, this is not available. For some of you, you're here and you're like, whew, I'm dying. So back off a little bit till you get a nice, happy stretch in the front. For me, I'm lucky I can do this. And then when we fold over into pigeon, maybe this is as far as that fold over looks like. Now, remember that figure 4 stretch we did. We really want to keep that front leg active, okay? So we're not just hanging out over that front leg. Flex the foot up, engage the muscles, try to pull your heel in a little bit, try to push your knee down into the ground a little bit, and then come down to that happy place. Maybe it's just on your forearms and you're hanging out here. Maybe you're coming down, resting your head on a block. Whatever you are in that space, just stay there, make sure it feels good. But we're not being lazy in this space. The back leg, put a little thought there. Are you just hanging out in the back leg, or can you put a little tone back there? Can you tighten the muscles a little bit? Take an inhale and exhale. Push yourself back up. Come onto your knees. Now you can use the block to pad your knee or use a pillow. I recommend a pillow just for comfort. I'm going to pull the bolster back because most of you probably have a pillow at home. Okay, so now the right knee comes on to the pad. The left leg steps forward. Put the blocks on either side of your foot. And then make your way up. For some of you, just that little tuck under might be enough to feel that hip flexor stretch here. For others, maybe you're coming up into Anjaneyasana here. And take your arms down. Grab your strap. Place the strap around your right ankle. And then slowly pull that foot up and in. Take inventory, like, does this feel good? Does this feel okay? Am I starting to feel this in my kneecap a little bit? If you feel it in the kneecap, you just back off, and then you go for the deeper lunge. We hold this. Slow and steady inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Last breath, inhale. And exhale. Use your front left leg to push yourself out of this position. Okay. Take the strap away. Take the block away and come into a seated position on your pillow, or you can sit on your blocks. Take both feet together. And if you have the range of motion available to you, you'll pull your heels in towards your groin and push your knees down this way. Now, as you push your knees down, can you let go and just actively push your knees down from your outer hips to get that inner thigh stretch? If you have blocks, keep them close by, because we'll start to fold forward a little bit at our hips. Now, for me, I always get really stiff here. So you're gonna see that. That's it for my forward fold. That's great. My back is flat-ish. I'm feeling a pretty intense stretch in my inner thighs, and I'm still keeping my legs really active. If you're just flopping into this, see if you can keep the muscles engaged in your inner thighs. Your calf muscles, push your feet in towards each other, and then rotate your knees down away from each other like they're trying to push into the ground. If you've got more flexibility, you can come off the seated surface and do this on the floor, like so. Then you can interlace your fingers under your feet and extend your back here. So I have a lot of flexibility here, not everybody does. Some people, they need to put blocks under their knees so they can not struggle so hard and struggle in a malicious way. We don't want to do that. Okay, for me, I don't need that. I just need this. But again, now if you want me to fold forward from here, I don't have much place to go. So that's why I like to be on an elevated surface. If I show you my forward fold here, that's it. I'm just pulling myself in. I'll give you a side view. Get to see it. The yogi is actually stiff. Some of us are stiff. That's it. That's all I got. That is intense. Great. For some of you, you're going to keep going. But notice if I keep going, I'm going to start rounding my back. I don't want that. I want my back to stay pretty neutral. Versus if I'm sitting on surface. And I have my blocks. Here, and I can fold forward to there. Look at that. I encourage you to play with either one. Let's take a few more breaths here. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Last breath. Inhale. And exhale. Sit on up. Cross your legs in front of you. Take your hands to your chest. Close your eyes. Take your chin to your chest. And just focus on your breath. Take a slow inhalation. Exhale. Inhale completely. exhale fully. Inhale. And exhale. Last breath, inhale. And exhale. Gently float your eyelids open. Thank you so much for joining me in this quick, gentle hip opening sequence. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it down below. Subscribe to our channel, share these videos, and I look forward to seeing you all on